Hey everybody, it's your host with the most, Zack Riling. And today is a special day for me because today is the first episode of Echoes of the Jedi, a podcast in a galaxy far, far away. This is a podcast all about Star Wars. I am such a fan of the universe of Star Wars that George Lucas created back in '77. It's one of the most beautiful franchises within the nerdum community. And I know right now it's a little, in fucking flames, for better or worse to say, that we need to take a step back at this time and maybe enjoy the older period of Star Wars and maybe just reminisce a bit. Why don't we go down memory lane and we enjoy what was and what could have been. So, that's a little quote from one of my other shows on CAM-TV, if anyone watches that. But, without further ado, we're going to watch this in chronological order. We're going to start with Star Wars, Episode 1, The Phantom Menace. The cast for this one includes Ewan McGregor as Obi-Wan Kenobi, Liam Neeson as Qui-Gon Jinn, Jake Lloyd as Anakin Skywalker, Natalie Portman as Padme Amidala, Ian McDiarmid as Sheev Palpatine, and Keira Knightley as Sabai. She pretty much plays the fake queen in the movie. She's Queen Amidala when Natalie Portman isn't playing her. It's a confusing, weird thing, I guess, if you didn't know it at first, but after you've seen the movie, then that information becomes a little less convoluted, I suppose you could say. But the movie is PG, came out in 1999. It is 2 hours and 16 minutes long. And let's go ahead, why don't we go over the summary of the movie right here. Obi-Wan Kenobi is a young apprentice Jedi Knight under the tutelage of Qui-Gon Jinn, Anakin Skywalker, who will later be known as... Anakin Skywalker, who will later father Luke Skywalker and become known as Darth Vader, is just a 9-year-old boy. When the Trade Federation cuts all routes to the planet Naboo, Qui-Gon Jinn and Obi-Wan are signed to settle the matter. I don't know, I'm not gonna lie, I didn't realize that quite would have been the summary for it, for the overall movie. I guess it's not quite exactly how I would have worded it based off what I remember from the movie, but, it's been forever since I've seen Episode 1. So... maybe that opinion on how the summary is written on here, at least on Google, will be, different from what I originally thought. So, but, like I said, it came out in 1999 on May 19th. It was directed by George Lucas and was written by George Lucas. Had a budget of $115 million and a box office of $1.46 billion. Not surprising, it is Star Wars after all. And the cinematographer for this movie is David Tattersall. So, this is also one of the last few Star Wars movies that tried to do more practical than CGI effects. In this movie, before it was messed with by George Lucas, like he does all of his Star Wars movies, which he has the right to. They're his movies, not saying he doesn't. This was actually when Yoda was still a puppet, though. You can see it. It was a much different looking puppet than what we saw in Star Wars, The Empire Strikes Back, and Return of the Jedi. They tried to make this puppet of Yoda look a little bit younger, but I don't know. He still looks old, but he looks like a different member of Yoda's family. And sorry guys if you hear a radio going off in the background, that's my work radio. But yeah, so I still kind of like the puppet for what it is, though. So I wish we would have kept the puppet through the other two films and wouldn't have changed it to CGI, but the CGI still looks really good for what it was back in the day for Yoda, especially for Episode 2 and 3. But I'm just a big fan of practical effects, so that part of me will never be taken away. If I ever get the chance to make my own big movie one day, you'd best know it's going to be more practical than visual effects. So, but now that we got all that out of the way, we are going to be starting with Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace. I am watching this on Disney+. That way I know everyone has access to viewing this. I do own all of the Star Wars movies on digital copy for social media again, like I did in one of my other podcasts. For physical media, I'm a big proponent on physical media, always have been, always will be. So... if you guys can ever get your hands on copies of that, do it. If they ever come up with a re-release, do that as well. But with all that out of the way, we're going to be started now. When I count down to from 3, 2, 1, I will hit play. So, starting now in 3, 2, 1, play. Alright guys, we're waiting for the screen to load. And I am going to be doing this a little bit differently where I have the audio on a little bit so I can hear it with you guys. And I will be frequently turning it down though, that way we won't get the video copyrighted or the podcast. I didn't realize it opened up with the 20th Century logo Fox. And then we got the iconic Lucasfilm LTD logo. A long time ago in a galaxy far, far away. I love these opening credits. The rolling credits as we all know them. And then the bombastic John Williams Star Wars music theme. I'll turn it up for you guys for this. Episode 1. And here goes the crawl, guys. The Phantom Menace. How many people actually read the crawls, I wonder? I know if you're a child, you probably don't. You probably just look to your parents. When's the movie going to start? What is this? The turmoil has engulfed the Galactic Republic. Taxation of trade routes to outlying star systems in the dispute. Hoping to resolve the matter with a blockade of deadly battleships, the greedy Trade Federation has stopped all shipping to the small planet of Naboo. While the Congress of the Republic endlessly debates this alarming chain of events, the Supreme Chancellor has secretly dispatched 2 Jedi Knights, the guardians of peace and justice, and the galaxy to settle the conflict. ... There we go. That's the opening crawl, guys. How many of you as children like me went to go see this in theaters with your parents and just were enthralled by the crawl but didn't fucking bother to read it at all? I know I was one of those kids, but you get older and you become an even bigger nerd than what you were before, and that stuff just seeps into your DNA. So, like with every Star Wars movie, we open up in space with a ship flying by. They tried recreating that with Ahsoka, I believe, as well. I know that's not a popular show. I'm 50-50 on that one, the way I like that.
Yes, of course. As you know, our vocabulary is
Perfectly legal.
and we'd be happy.
Now, all the aliens in this are done practically, unless we're looking at alien like Sebulba. That literally you can't do any other way but CGI because of the way they designed his alien body. So, and then we get the red ship landing. Is this what the Jedi are in? Oh, well, we never see him walk out, so, don't know about that. I love that we don't see their faces at first when they walk in. We just see them all hooded up. Well, I guess you can see them a little bit when they get closer to the camera.
I have a bad feeling about this.
I have a bad feeling about this.
It's not about the mission master, it's something...
Now, I've heard other people talk about that line, I have a bad feeling about this. I'm pretty sure it's supposed to be like Obi-Wan was a little bit more aware of what was going on with the Force, with him being attuned to it than what maybe Qui-Gon was. I know Qui-Gon's attuned to the Force in a completely different way, so... I wish Qui-Gon would have been able to have stuck around, but if anyone's listened to Dave Filoni talk about how important the Duel of the Fates fight is at the end of this movie, then you'll understand why he can't. But I also think it'd be really interesting if we got like a Star Wars what-if live-action movie of what if Qui-Gon lived and he became Anakin's master. If anyone has ever listened to Star Wars Theory, then you guys will know that he has come up with tons of fan fiction and theories about, hey, what if this had happened? What if this had happened? Then we also get other theories like, what if Anakin didn't betray the Jedi? So, but they're all really wonderful. But I've always wondered what would have happened if Qui-Gon would have been Anakin's master.
This scheme of yours has failed.
And then the practical effects for this still hold up till today. Although I'm wondering if Disney Plus has the original versions of these or the enhanced ones that George Lucas had done. Because everyone knows there's like 40 different versions of each movie he's done.
My lord,
And anyone in the anyone listening to this, leave a comment down below what you think of Kathleen Kennedy and how she's running Lucasfilm so far. Personally, I feel like she needs to take a step back and let someone else take a run at running the company. No pun intended there. But I really feel like we need someone else to guide the fucking ship for us to have a more successful Star Wars franchise than what we have with the sequel series and most of the TV shows. Because so far, the only TV shows I've really liked have been The Mandalorian and Andor Season 1. And even then, I don't really consider Andor Season 1 to be like real Star Wars. It exists within the Star Wars universe, but it's not a story that ultimately can only be told in the Star Wars universe. That's a story that can be told in many different genres other than the sci-fi. So, not to say that we don't need those kind in the sci-fi, but we needed, I don't know, more... what's the best way to put this? I guess more Jedi in there would have helped, but maybe like more Jedi-like characters, I suppose. Or maybe just more like sci-fi-esque aliens, maybe some more adventure storylines like Star Wars has. That's where I land on that, though. Andor, I do not deny, is a great series, put together wonderfully, acted wonderfully, written wonderfully. I just don't believe it's something that you can only tell within the Star Wars universe. That's how I feel about that.
Close the blast doors!
Close the blast doors! I remember this scene from a child so much vividly, where he tries to break into the 3 sealed fucking... Probably not steel, but I'm just going steel because that's what we have here on Earth, one of the strongest metals, besides tungsten.
It's still coming.
It's still coming through!
This is impossible!
Anyone else see the behind-the-scenes features on these? I know I've watched him with Star Wars Theory on his channel. He does a wonderful job covering anything in Star Wars, so I don't expect to get anything or anywhere near this level. But and then we got the rolling droid. But yeah, if anyone's seen the behind-the-scenes features for this movie, it's really... Oh, I didn't realize they used the Force to super speed away like that. Have we ever seen them do that since? Maybe in the Clone Wars series, but I haven't... it's been forever since I watched that fully all the way through. I know I watched the first few seasons to lead up back to the last season they did of Clone Wars, but I didn't get through the whole series. And then it's been forever since I watched Rebels too. We'll do rewatches on all that stuff too, don't worry guys. We'll get through the movies first and the live-action television shows as well.
You're right about one thing, Master. The negotiations were short.
Well, they were short, weren't they? I love Ewan McGregor as Obi-Wan Kenobi. He does such a good job giving us a younger Obi-Wan Kenobi because he would totally be different from what he was as an older man. And we get to see that transition of him becoming that older man throughout the rest of these movies. It was a real treat, and still is to watch.
I was not aware of such failure.
I've read that the Chancellor's ambassadors are with you now, and that you have been commanded to reach
I'm pretty sure that's not Natalie Portman. I believe that is
Mistaken.
Keira Knightley, if I'm not
The
mistaken.
Federation's gone too far this time.
We would never do that.
Yeah, Keira Knightley. I'm pretty sure that's Keira Knightley on the screen playing Queen Amidala right now, not Natalie Portman. I could be wrong though, but I'm pretty sure that sounds more like Keira Knightley than Natalie Portman. But yeah, if you guys watch behind the scenes, you can see how they like made these alien masks that are talking, the electronics and all that are underneath the rubber masks, and the actors, portraying them. Because it's not just like the actors are just wearing a mask and letting people control the face. Like they're actually moving the mouthpieces and the eyepieces with their facial expressions, because the masks are mechanical, yes, but they only work with the actor underneath it. If that makes sense to anyone. Hopefully it does.
Federation would not dare go that far.
The Senate would provoke a trade franchise.
You definitely realize how much more political the prequels are than the original series is.
And where are the Chancellor's ambassadors?
I always hear people talking shit about the prequels, but I never hear anyone explain what it is exactly they don't like about it and why it doesn't work for them. I just always hear them say the prequels are garbage and that's it. Like, if you think that, that's fine. You're allowed to think that, but can you at least tell me why you think that? I would like to know. I'm not going to sit here and try and prove you wrong. I just think it'd be an interesting conversation to hear exactly what it is some people don't like about it, so I can understand from a better place of where they're coming from. You know, I like them, but I could tell you why I like them. But I understand that's not going to make you like them any, more than what you already do. So, anyone else see those two droids fly into the distance? Look like they were about to hit the fucking front of the ship. I swear, I'm always curious to like the fucking physics with the way some of these ships move, with how slow the robots walk, or just are able to move. Because I know they made a joke about that in the second movie. I'm sure if you were an OG fan that grew up with the original movies too, probably seeing all these robots and everything working for the Sith probably threw you off. Like, really? This is what we're going with now? Oh wow, Jar Jar is terrible. Most of these aliens look pretty bad in these shots. Oh yeah, that does. Oh yeah, wow, that does not hold up. Oh my goodness. Yeah, for anyone that doesn't like Jar Jar, sorry, but I love him. Motherfucker makes me laugh my ass off. No, we should stay. Oh. And the actor who plays him fucking did a good job, in my opinion. I'm happy that he got some love in the Mandalorian series when we were trying to figure out what happened to Grogu and how he escaped. And it turned out he was the Jedi that helped him escape. That made me just super enthusiastic about that. It looks somewhat better here, but like it still sticks out. Excuse me. Excuse me. A city. You could take us there.
On second thought, no, not really, no. It's embarrassing.
I love why he gets banished from his city. Because he's fucking clumsy. It's great. Anyone else try to mimic the voices you heard in the Star Wars movies? Like, does anyone else have a good Sebulba impersonation? Why, yes. This is what we will do. Yes, you can take him. I never liked the boy anyways. Is it Sebulba or Sebulbasaur? I think it's Sebulbasaur.
How much further? We're going underwater, okay? Am I warning you? There is no liking outside it, so don't expect to warm welcome.
Oh, don't worry. This hasn't been our day for warm welcomes.
And then I love the so acrobatic. That was one of my favorite parts about playing as Jar Jar in the Lego games, was they really made him acrobatic in those too, so you got to really jump around and have fun. If you needed to like get to high places in the game, that was the character you went to, at least for me. I know some Jedi can double jump and jump high, but they can't jump anywhere near as high as that motherfucker could in the game. That's for damn sure. It's under fucking water city. It's just fucking gorgeous. The effects for this still hold up. I can't deny that. This still looks gorgeous. Jar Jar looks better underwater than he does on land. That's for damn sure. Yeah, for anyone that is listening and watching the screen on YouTube for this, I do have pictures playing. Hopefully they align with what we're all seeing on the screen. If not, it will rotate through as the movie goes along.
So, good people.
Yeah, this definitely looked a lot better when I was a kid. It's mostly the aliens that don't look so good right now. If I'm correct in how they shot this, though, for something like this, I believe they shot them on green screen, and then the sets they're technically in the movie, I believe, are miniatures. So, because I believe that's how they did the second and third one as well. They made these miniature sets, and then they filmed those for the shots they needed filmed the actors on green screen backgrounds, and then they composited them in over the miniature footage as well. That's about how I believe they did it. It's how they did some of the stuff in the original Star Wars movies too.
This army of mechanics of death is fused.
The droid army is about to attack the Naboo. You must warn them.
Liam Neeson really does play Qui-Gon Jinn with this, I guess you could say confidence, but it's more of this, like, just this, like, strength of will. Like, he knows that what he's doing and what he's going to say is going to help the situation, and what he believes in isn't going to hurt the outcome of the Jedi. And you don't get that in too many of the newer Jedi that we get introduced to. A lot of people were saying that Soul in the ungodly, terrible Acolyte show was that everyone was saying he reminded them of Qui-Gon Jinn, and I saw that too in like the first 3 episodes, or the first 2 at least. But then after we get the third one and then the rest on, he just becomes this whiny fucking bitch, and I can't fucking stand it. It was really like, oh my god, here we go, he's crying again. They turned him into Finn from fucking Force Awakens and everything, The Last Jedi and all those motherfucking movies, where he's just doing nothing but yelling, Osha! May! It got really fucking pathetic to eventually listen to. Alright, I think I would have preferred if George Lucas went back and redid the CGI for the aliens, or at least the Jar Jar aliens on his planet, too. Some shots look okay, some don't.
What is to become of Jar Jar Binks? He seemed to be
Punished. Punished.
I saved his life. He owes me what you call
like that.
your God's demand. His life belongs to you.
Binks. You, sir, have the life play with this issue.
Uh-huh.
Be gone with him.
Every time that guy does that, it makes me fucking laugh. Like, is that supposed to be like a, alright, I'm good with this. You got it, dude. Like,
What did Lisa say?
like it's, I could tell it's like a happy thing he's doing, but like, I also can't tell if it's like a, okay, you get your way. You can have this. Go on now. Like, if it's like that type of thing. I don't know, I went like New York Italian with that. But, either way. Then we get to this next underwater scene. Fucking fantabulous, too. One of my favorite. Like, visually, these are just really stunning to look at. I know some of the CGI isn't holding up as good as I was hoping it would have. But, it's still, like, visually stunning art pieces to come up with for the movie. And I will admit, the movie is a little bit slow-paced. It kind of takes forever to get to the action sequences and to meet Anakin as a little boy. But, I'm still, like, thoroughly enthralled and enjoying it. But that's mostly because I'm a visual guy. If you please me with visuals, I won't really complain throughout the movie as long as it matches up with the incredible story you're trying to tell. And I love the story for these movies as well. So, does, them being a part of my childhood play a big perception into that? Probably. I'm not going to lie. But I can at least still tell you why I love the movies, and I'm not just going to sit here and say nostalgia. So, I get why most people love the original trilogy over these, and for the most part, I can't argue with them against it. They are better movies to these, but I could still complain about some of the acting in that. So, and some of the storytelling options, because it's not like it all lines up perfectly. But it still tells a good, cohesive story that overall satisfies the audience, which is what I believe these do for at least people my age that grew up with them or were just introduced to them as they were older. You know, I wasn't introduced to everything nerdum, you know, Star Wars, superheroes, ninjas, anime, cartoons, comic books, all that type of stuff all at once at a certain age. Like, it was all introduced to me gradually over time, you know, and I'm sure that's like it is with everyone in the nerd community. Those masks always, I always love looking at them. They're visually pleasing for me just because I know how they work now. Okay, Jar Jar actually looks really good in these shots.
Smells sticky.
Losing power.
Oh, no. I love how he does the voice of Jar Jar.
Lisa dying here.
Lisa dying here.
What, Jack? Monsters out there. Speaking in here.
George Lucas, though, was so ashamed of the response he got from Jar Jar in this movie. Like, he relegated him to such a D fucking character in episodes 2 and 3. Like, he was there in the background, you could see him, but he had no fucking lines of dialogue except for maybe 2 in episode 3, I believe it is. Or no, maybe it's episode 2 I'm thinking of. Because you see him in episode 3, but I think that's the one he has no lines of dialogue. And we're gonna get the famous line here. There's always a bigger fish. That thing looks fucking scary.
Head for that outcome.
Oh boy.
Alright.
I love the sound design for this scene too. For the ship, the underwater sound effects, the creatures that were chasing them. Naboo is such a beautiful planet. What are those orange orbs on her dress? I never noticed those until now. I wonder if those are just a design aesthetic or if there's some sort of like cultural meaning within the universe. Because Lord knows the universe is ever so expansive in its fucking lore. Alright, is this where we're gonna get the bigger fish? No. I guess I missed the line. There's always a bigger fish.
How would you explain this invasion of the Senate?
The Queen and I will send
Oh, there ain't nothing like a good old invasion. Let the palace be taken over. We're just gonna walk slowly down. Like, heavens to Betsy, if this is a fucking invasion, I would love for there to be a fucking invasion, like, for me that one day if I was a leader. Like, hey, you guys aren't gonna try and kill me while you're trying to take over the planet or the fucking palace over here? Alright, cool. Yeah, as long as you don't kill me, I'll do what you gotta say. Like, that's like the fucking, that's a good outcome. You know, obviously you fucking want to fight and shit like that, so it doesn't happen, but like, holy hell. Some places get overrun, and then they just go to shit. They all die, place gets fucking deconstructed from all the fucking warfare. I like this little scene where they come to save Queen Amidala. If anyone's ever seen or playing the Lego game for this, it's really funny because Obi-Wan can't get his lightsaber ignited in it, but Qui-Gon does, so he has to take all of them out, and Obi-Wan, as soon as he does get it ignited, they're all gone. It's fucking hilarious joke in that.
You should leave the street to us.
Get their weapons.
But if they did do that in the movies, it probably would go over well.
They're ambassadors for the Supreme Chancellor. Your negotiations will fail. Negotiations never took place.
The negotiations never took place.
They've knocked out all our communications.
Transport.
Remain hanging. This way.
I wonder what Qui-Gon Jinn's design aesthetic is based off of.
My place is with my people.
10 years or so. They wouldn't dare.
They need to sign a treaty to make this invasion of theirs legal. They can't afford to kill them.
But yeah, no, I'm looking at Qui-Gon Jinn right now, and I can't place what his design for his character might come from. I mean, obviously, fucking maybe Jesus, but I wonder what inspirations George Lucas took for Qui-Gon Jinn. And I'm sure they're out there if anyone wants to let me know in the comments down below. Or I can just do a quick search, see if maybe I can find something like that. We're about to see the really cool ship.
We'll need to free those pilots.
Anyone else want that silver bullet ship that's in this movie? I always thought it was really sleek and just cool looking.
Where are you thinking of?
One second, guys. The inspiration for the jump jig. Alright, yeah, for some reason I just only got something related to the actor Jung Jae, who plays Master Soul in The Acolyte, who, of course, took his inspiration from Qui-Gon Jinn for his character, which makes sense with why everyone thought he was like him, even though he wound up being a whiny bitch in the end. And this is when we get to meet R2-D2 for the first time. I'm so excited to get to see C-3PO and R2-D2 back together for the first time. Back together. Meet for the first time, I suppose, right, guys? I always thought the choices for colors in the movies were, for the technology, were really smartly done. They don't make you think that they're anything other than parts of the ship technology-wise. Because they could easily blend in and be, you know, like a custom paint job to part of it for, you know, aesthetic looks. So, one thing I do know that most of the people back when George Lucas still had Lucasfilm under his belt when he owned it, was that whenever they designed something technological-wise in the movies, they always wanted it to look like its purpose was actually useful. Like, you could look at it and you could know how to use it. Or it actually looked like you could use it within the film itself while you're on set. So I always know that was a big part for George Lucas when he was creating this stuff. Which is another reason why most of the newer Star Wars stuff kind of just falls flat on its face, because on the surface level, they're trying to aesthetically please you with, hey, look at all these switches and lights and sound effects and all these chromed out surfaces. It's like, okay, but what do they do? Like, what does that work with? What does this turn on? Does this activate a gun? Does this put me into hyperspace? Like, what do each one of these do? And how do the actors on set look like while they're using it to explain it? You know, those are the details you need when you're building sets so that they become real. You know, you believe that that's somewhere you could go and visit in, you know, real life. So.
One double cruiser got fast about me.
Did anyone notice how when R2-D2 went out to go fix the fucking ship's wing, there wasn't any just blatant fire, just, you know, all about fucking space, just, you know, flaming out like there fucking was oxygen around it when there was none? Yeah, that was a shot at fucking the Acolyte. Yeah, the first time we get to meet Darth Maul, probably what everyone considers the best thing to come out of the prequel series was Darth Maul. Which I'd have to disagree with. I think he was probably third best. First, in my opinion, was Ewan McGregor as Obi-Wan Kenobi. Second was Hayden Christensen as Anakin Skywalker. Third was Maul. Fourth was Qui-Gon Jinn. And fifth, I would have to give up to probably Anthony Daniels for just sticking it through his C-3PO throughout all these movies. So... R2-D2.
Padme, clean this droid up as best you can. It deserves our gratitude. Continue, Captain.
So hold on a second. Let's go back to viewing the characters list and the actors for them.
Trust my judgment.
Yeah, no, it says Natalie Portman plays Queen Amidala, or Padme Amidala, the Queen, and then Keira Knightley plays Sabe, or Sabe, however you want to fucking pronounce that. But, I find it interesting. Wouldn't they know that Padme Amidala is the Queen, or do they just call her the Queen? Yeah, that's a mindfuck in itself, writing-wise. Or maybe that's just a plot hole I just noticed. One or the other, right?
Very scared.
R2-D2.
That's it.
For anyone that doesn't know, the voice for R2-D2 was done by the sound engineer for the original Star Wars movies. I don't know if he did the sound design and engineering for the prequels as well. I believe he did, though. But yeah, he's the original voice of R2-D2. While Kenny Baker plays R2-D2 in the suit, he doesn't do the voice. I just thought that was a little interesting tidbit.
We'll need a new one. That will complicate things. Be wary.
Yeah, no, their engine drive looks just as complicated in this movie as it did in the Lego game. Anyone remember the big fucking block in the Lego game that they used to represent that? You looked at that and you were just like, how are you supposed to fix that? It's the same thing as this actual engine. Like, it looks cool. I'm like, how do you build this? How does something like this operate?
Handmade.
It's not like you can pop the hood and see a leak or a crack or something. Well, I guess you could see a crack and a leak, but I don't really. I mean, well, could you? How does that future technology work? That's something I would like to know. Didn't explain that very well.
Not a good idea. Stay close to me.
Not like to do the midichlorians in this movie. Man, Tatooine City looks a lot bigger from the far out desert.
Watch your palms for the most part.
Anyone else notice they make Tatooine always look like shittier and shittier each time we go back to it?
Spaceports like this one.
I feel like that's an intentional set design choice from George Lucas to kind of like tell the story of Tatooine. That looks like C-3PO, but it's not. We all know that. C-3PO's in Anakin's bedroom. Not turned on at the moment. There's a fat-ass alien in the background. So I don't know why it looks like they were on a green screen for that shot, when I know they have Tatooine actually built out as a real set. So, like, you can still go to the desert, and they left out the sets after they redid them for these movies. But yep, Anakin. It's where we get to meet Anakin for the first time, guys. I don't think my impression of him was that far off. But I also don't think his name's Bulbasaur. I'm pretty sure Bulbasaur is the alien from Pod Racer that fucks with Anakin, and Anakin fucks with back.
Are you an angel?
I'm pretty sure he sounds like
An angel. I heard the deep space.
something along the lines of that.
Funny little boy. How do you know so much? I listen to all the traitors.
Star-crossed lovers meeting for the first time in a very pedophile-looking way, if you ask me. I always thought George Lucas's taste in love stories was somewhat okay, but it was also borderline psychopathic. Considering how the fuck old is Padme supposed to be in this?
My mom and I was.
I'm pretty sure Natalie Portman at the time was maybe 19, 17 maybe when they filmed this, and Jake Lloyd I think is maybe 11 or 12. So a little weird if you ask me, but ah! Yeah, fucking Jar Jar being a klutz like usual.
No.
Yeah.
I'm the only one here about to have one, but I just went by a new ship. It would be cheaper, I think, huh? Thing which, how's he gonna pay for all this?
I have 20,000 Republic deck carries.
Public credits?
Public credits.
Now you're writing something more real.
I don't have anything else, but credits will do fine.
No, they won't.
Credits will do fine.
No, they won't.
I love his little credits will do fine. He tries to do the Jedi mind trick on him and it doesn't work.
All the money.
Yep. On the money.
All the
No money, no plots, no deal.
I could drive, I promise you that.
He looks like shit in this movie, but when you see him in episode 2 and Anakin sees him when he's in his 20s, he really fucking looks like even more shit. No, wait, I don't think Anakin's. I think Anakin's maybe 17 or 18 when we see him in episode 2. And then he's in his 20s in episode 3.
I was glad to meet you too.
Jake Lloyd did a good job playing young Anakin Skywalker. I know a lot of people have this conception that he was bullied from being Anakin Skywalker in these movies, but if you guys actually listen to a couple of interviews that his mom did, because he does have a mental illness now that he's older, and he's not really able to act anymore or have like a normal life because of the mental illness that he has. But it didn't come from being bullied from Star Wars fans or from him being Anakin Skywalker in the prequel movies. It just came from him over time with his mental health deteriorating. It was something he didn't know he had until he was getting older, and he got tested for it when it became more apparent. So it really is sort of this conspiracy myth that he was bullied into becoming this drug abusing adolescent that ruined his life. That's not true at all. I mean, he made some bad choices, but that was because of the mental disorder that he has. That's a creepy looking alien. Yeah, I think this is a Bulbasaur that we just seen get food splashed in. Yep. Yeah, that's how he's supposed to sound. Sebulba. Okay, I was right before. Sebulba, not Sebulbasaur. Sebulbasaur actually fucking sounds like a Pokemon now that I think about it. Jesus Christ, do I feel dumb. Yeah, Sebulba CGI for him looks about just as good as Jar Jar does over here. And I don't mean that in a good way, folks. It did not look that good. Although it looked pretty good. It looks pretty good now. The transitioning of it from being shit to good quality is really all over the fucking place. Wind whistling. There's Obi-Wan, guys.
Looks pretty bad. Wanaka. We'll be right there.
Never been in a sandstorm. I'd have to imagine it's really shitty, though.
Here, you'll like this palette.
Much like Anakin. I hate sand. It gets everywhere.
It's raging. Storms coming up on me.
Yep, and that's where he just seen his lightsaber. Got a little peek there.
There's a bar. It's on the outskirts. They never reach the outskirts in time. Sandstorms are very, very dangerous.
Yep,
Why?
from what I've heard. I like that they had tracks in the sand from R2-D2 moving, because that's CGI R2-D2. It's not Kenny Baker in a suit when they move him like that.
Mom, I'm home. These are my friends, Mom.
Hello.
That's right on too.
I'm building a toy. Want to see?
Yes, I was kind enough to offer a shelter.
Come on, I'll show you 3PO.
I actually like the goodbye that Anakin has with his mom when he leaves Tatooine with Qui-Gon and Padme. I actually thought it was really written well, it was heart-touching, and it was acted really well, too, because you could see the pain between the two actors of a mother and a son, of them having to say goodbye to each other, because, number one, you're sending your child off into the unknown, and you have no clue what's about to happen to him.
Oops.
Two, this child has done nothing but spent his whole life with her. That's what he knows is comfortability. That's his home. So he's going to go out into the world, and he's going to have to find a new home. That's going to be scary. It's going to be unpredictable, and it's going to bring just new wonders as well. So, but I thought that you could see all that perfectly within that scene when it will come up to it. But it'll come up after one of my other favorite scenes in this movie, which is the pod racing scene. C-3PO. R2-D2.
What do you mean?
Naked. For anyone that doesn't know, this was an actual physical prop they used for C-3PO. They actually had someone standing behind it, and he was operating it like a puppet, so it was like attached to his limbs. So when he would move his limbs, the limbs would move with it. And then they just painted him out with the CGI.
Send no reply. Send no transmissions of any kind. Sounds like bait to establish a concentration. What if it is true? And the people are dying? Either way, we're running out of time.
So I will admit, I do think that's something they could have set up a little bit better. Is the what's the word I'm looking for? Not exposition.
Move against the Jedi first.
Fuck, why am I blanking on this? Sorry, guys. I guess I'll come back to it when I think of it. But just a sense of dread, like a sense of time. Like we're in a crunch and we need to get to where we need to go at a certain point in the plot. Some of it does feel like it was just like convenience writing. Some of it doesn't. But I guess that plays into the part of why the pacing is so slow in the movie.
I've been working on standard train movement.
Any attempt to escape.
And they blow you up.
Anyone else think that Anakin's mom named Shmi was a weird name to come up with compared to all the other names we have in Star Wars? Like, I know like a lot of the other ones could be like really fucking weird, like fucking Jabba the Hutt or I mean, just most of the fucking Star Wars names. You know, most of the Mandalorians got weird names. Most of the Jedi have weird names. Yoda is a weird name, but, you know, we all love Yoda. It's not me dissing on Yoda or the names. I'm just pointing out something that I thought was weird. If anyone else thinks that, let me know. What would you guys have named Anakin's mom? And whatever sort of Star Wars-esque name would you have come up with? Like Bo-Katan? That's weird, but it's Star Wars, that's for sure. Sorry, guys, I'm yawning.
I think you have. Why else would you do that?
I can see this more clearly. We're on our way to constant, the central system of the Republic, a very important mission.
How did you end up out here now?
I wonder what kind of movie that would have been if the Phantom Menace was about them going to free the slaves of Tatooine instead of the movie we did get. I wonder what kind of movie that would have been like and how that would have impacted Anakin's future.
These junk dealers must have a weakness.
I mean, we probably would have gotten a lot more action if we would have gotten the Jedis go to Tatooine to free the slaves from Jabba the Hutt and all the other people that are slave owners on Tatooine. I don't know. Could have been interesting. I'm trying to think of ways that it would have been. But, I guess I need some rest so I can actually think of that kind of stuff. Ooh. There's a lot of subtle acting going on in this scene where they're trying not to let down Anakin, but they're also trying to push forward what he wants to do at the same time, even though they know it's dangerous. Ugh.
You sure about this? Trusting our fate to avoid what hard we know? The Queen will not approve.
Queen doesn't need to know.
Well, I don't know.
Well, I don't approve. It's so fucking sassy. The Queen will not approve. The Queen doesn't need to know. Well, I don't approve. I'm pretty sure that was George Lucas subtly letting us know later on in the movie that, hey, that's the Queen, and she knows what you're doing, but she's going along with it anyways because she does trust you.
The boy lied. You smashed up my father last night.
But for anyone that's seen this movie in theaters like I did, how surprised were you when you found out that Padme was the queen? And the queen that was pretending to be her was really just her bodyguard. I know when I first saw that I was like, oh, okay. Well, you got me. That was a twist. I like how, though, when Qui-Gon realizes he can't just use his Jedi mind trick on the alien that owns Anakin and his mom, that he's going to actually have to use his, like, fucking wits to outsmart him, and he does.
If we win, we keep all the winnings minus the cost of the party. Lose.
You guys could really have called Qui-Gon a fucking hustler back in the day.
Either way, you win.
Yeah.
When you hustle a hustler. Your friend is a foolish one, he thinks. I'm pretty sure he just tricked you, not the other way around, bud.
What if this plan fails, Master? We could be stuck here a very long time.
Obi-Wan must be so lonely on the ship with the pilots, the other shipmates, because his master's off on Tatooine, chilling with all the Tatooinians. That was a joke, guys. Relax.
You should be very proud of your son. He was without any problem.
When anyone else seen pod racing in this movie, was that instantly something you were like, I want to do that, I need to get one. How do I get one? I gotta do it. Shit, that was a killer on the throat. But, pod racing, I think, is one of the coolest things to come out of the prequel series. And, did anyone ever go to like a Chuck E. Cheese or like a video game arcade where they actually had like one of the big Star Wars pod racing games where you could sit in Anakin's pod and you could do the pod racing itself? I always thought that was so fucking cool. It was one of my favorite arcade games. And they also had a Star Wars Return of the Jedi arcade game where you sat in a seat, you grabbed onto a joystick, and then you could fight as Luke Skywalker against Darth Vader. You could also play as other like vehicles in the games as well. There's levels, so you could level up in it to get to the Darth Vader fight. I think the Darth Vader fight might have been the last level, but either or. I always lost in those games. Like, I could never beat Darth Vader for the life of me.
I'm in Boon's race tomorrow. What? With this?
Boonta race tomorrow.
No, you're Daddy.
So it's called the Boonta race?
been working
Everyone,
on
I always called it the pod race.
Come on, let's go and play ball. Keep racing in ball squad.
I love this scene that's about to come up with Jar Jar, how he just goes all numb tongue. I got numb tongue.
Hey, Jar Jar, keep away from those energy binders. If your hand gets caught in the beam, it's gonna go numb
For hours.
Oh, my tongue is fat.
My tongue is fat.
Tongue, right?
My tongue, let's. Let's.
Fat. Arrow.
You know, I find that Jar Jar odd.
I find that Jar Jar creature odd.
Well,
It's time to throw down. Yeah, use those parts first.
yes, sir.
Oh, it's it. It's on the way.
My daddy.
You're quite right. He's very odd indeed.
You're quite right. He's very odd indeed. Yeah, Jar Jar is odd. I love the sound design for these. They sound so fucking wicked cool. It's working! It's working! I love the music in this. Music's so good. They really need to bring back John Williams Star Wars themes. I swear to God. They do it sometimes, but it's for like fucking, I swear to Christ, 10 seconds if that. I would love for us to actually explore a new galaxy going forward, though, within the Star Wars universe. I really would love to see new characters, new Jedi, and I don't just mean like new faces. I want to see brand new Jedi, like ones that don't follow the same code as the Jedi we have grown to know and love, sometimes hate. I would love to see a fucking Jedi group that had the beliefs of what Qui-Gon thought they could have been. Like, it's not wrong for us to have emotions and to love and care. If anything, that makes us stronger for it, and it doesn't keep us minded away from each other, as if we were to not let our emotions in. So, I think that would make for an interesting story of characters at the very least. And I just think we could get some really cool new planets and landscapes if we venture off to another galaxy. Like, it feels like we're so stagnant in terms of what we see setting wise and background wise in the Star Wars universe now. It feels like we just keep revisiting the same fucking places over and over again. Or we'll go to a new planet and it looks like another one we've already been to. So, little heart wrenching in that aspect of it visually for the newer stuff. So hopefully that's something maybe Disney will improve upon. But I'm one of the guys that thinks Disney should just sell Lucasfilm to someone else and then kick Kathleen Kennedy out of the leadership, because I don't believe she really needs to be there. She hasn't done anything good for the franchise since she took over. She's alienated a lot of talent away from the franchise. And I mean, like, it's been almost over 5 years since we've had a Star Wars movie in theaters. You know, that hurts me as a fan to fucking say. You know, and I can't say that, hey, we got the TV shows, that's keeping us, you know, on the mend until then. But, you know, it's not. Most of them have been pretty crap, like I've said before. The only ones I really like are The Mandalorian and Andor. That's about it. There was, like, certain stuff that I liked in Ahsoka, but I didn't overall like the series in general, and I didn't like The Acolyte. You guys can see my full review on that on the channel as well. That's under the Cam Dynamics show.
Oh, funny business.
I want you no funny business.
Don't get me wrong, though. I have a great faith in the book. It's a credit to you.
CGI for him looks really good right now.
What about that? Is it going to win everything?
CGI looks pretty good in general for this entire Sabola.
Why do you think that?
He always wins.
Oh, there's a first for everything, isn't there?
I'll take that bet.
What?
I'll wager my new racing pod against, say, the boy who's new.
Your pod is one of those slaves, not by any longer shot.
Boy, then.
I do like that Qui-Gon tries to get Anakin's mom with him, but the guy immediately shoots it down.
Let the fate decide. I just happen to have a chance.
Really shitty colored dye, blue and red. I do think that's supposed to represent the light side and the dark side as well. You know, like the red lightsabers and the blue lightsabers.
You want me smaller tossed outlander?
Such a petty bitch. I swear to Christ. Qui-Gon did cheat though, so, you know, I can't be that angry at him. Better stop your friends from betting or I'll end up owing him too.
What do you mean by that?
Happy that Qui-Gon doesn't tell him what the bet was until after the race was over. Because if you told Anakin before the race, like, that puts so much more pressure on the character's shoulders to win it, not just for Qui-Gon for what he needs for his ship, but he'll then feel the pressure to free him and his mom from being slaves. But that depends if fucking Qui-Gon tells him it's just him or if he's racing for both of them, even though he knows he can only get his mom. Or hit him, not his mom, based off the bet he makes. So. A lot of mask guys in that little short scene. Yeah, I know all this was miniatures that they filmed on. And when you get to most of the wide shots in these scenes, it's mostly just popsicle sticks with like cotton on them that they had attached underneath the seats so they could just make them go up and down for the waving motions. That guy fucking poor alien, the big green-headed alien. He just gets shit on the entire first portion of this race because he doesn't even fucking take off. Speaking Nazi. Speaking of Nazi.
Inside pole position.
I would really like to know how they come up with these names in Star Wars. It sure does interest me. Voltron 227. And then they got all these little mechanic robots working on the pods. Man, George Lucas really did try to go for more comedy in this movie than he did the original trilogy. Which I don't know why he felt like he needed to have more comedy in the movies. Maybe because he just wanted to try something different with the franchise. That could have been it. I like how they all walk out with different flags. Reminds you of an actual race. Like a Grand Prix. Be safe. And then we got Sebulba over here being a fucking cheat. Because he's a little fucking crybaby bitch when he loses. No, come on, it's a line ball. I like how Qui-Gon gives him Anakin a little bit of Jedi wisdom before he imparts on his race form. May the Force be with you. I also like how Anakin calls him out on him being a Jedi earlier on in the movie after he first sees his lightsaber, and he asks him what they're doing there for. Like, Anakin's not dumb. He's a smart kid. Now for the close-ups, you could close-ups of the crowd. You could probably point out like the same people multiple times if you wanted to for the close-ups, because that's a little bit different from the wider shots of them just being able to get away with using cotton balls on sticks. So
It's fine.
The Jedi are far too reckless. The Queen is not.
Trust my judgment. She too.
You assume too much.
you assume too much. Oh, they really did make her sassy in this. I like it. I miss seeing Natalie Portman in more things. She needs to be in more movies. She's a breath of fresh air. At least she was when she was younger. I still liked her in the Thor movies. If only they didn't kill her off and send her ass to Valhalla. Spoiler alert if you didn't see Thor: Love and Thunder. See, now I'm thinking in my head, as cool as the pod race is, I kind of want to see another version of a race in Star Wars now. But they're all like land-based vehicles, like they have wheels and shit. So I would like to see a Star Wars wheeled race with different types of racing vehicles. Maybe you get one that's just wrapped in one fucking wheel and the driver's on the inside of it. That'd be kind of fucking cool. first thing that comes to my mind when I think of a design like that is from the Yu-Gi-Oh! 5Gs, I believe is what that one is. Or Yu-Gi-Oh! 5Ds, not 5Gs. Yu-Gi-Oh! 5Ds, which is for the 5 dragons in the show. If anyone's seen any of the Yu-Gi-Oh! Series, or Yu-Gi-Oh! 5D, you'll know what I'm talking about with the one-wheel motorcycle type design. But I think it'd be pretty cool to see something like that in Star Wars, but on like a much grander scale, a little bit more destructive. Now, and he's off! But I was right, that green guy didn't fucking make it out of there. His ship did, but he didn't. And he got Sebulbasaur, or Sebulba. I'm just gonna start calling him Sebulbasaur, because he's a sore fucking loser, and cheats all the time to win. And it's not like he, like, cheats in, like, a really cool, sly way. Like, it's, like, very abrupt and just very, like, shitty. Like, Qui-Gon is doing it in, like, a sly way where he's using the Force to manipulate some things. So, like, when Qui-Gon does it, you kind of root for him. When Sebulba does it, you're like, dude, stop being a bitch. I love the sound design for these race scenes. There we go. I just think this sound design is what brings you into the race. It makes you believe that these are actually racing objects, vehicles that could, you know, move the way they are. Yeah, I heard a fan theory that the Sand People here were trying to take out Anakin as a baby because they time traveled back in time to kill him before he comes to kill all of their family members. I just thought that was a little interesting. It made me kind of laugh. Whoa. Sebulba, you ain't gonna be in first for long. Anyone actually play the Lego game of this and do the pod racing mission and that's in that game from this movie? Because they actually made it quite difficult in that one. I love the little robot. Like he had a blast going through the fucking engine. Yeah, here it comes. Not last. I do find it funny, though. Supposedly, one of Anakin's friends that's over there with R2-D2 and C-3PO, the green alien, that's supposed to be... oh, fuck. Why am I blanking on his name? I literally just had it in my head. Guido from the Star Wars A New Hope. The one that tries to kill Han in the first movie, but shoots first, and then Han shoots him, but they try to make it so Han shoots him first instead. Or no. They made it so Han shot him first, so he couldn't shoot him. And then they made it so he shoots Han first, and he does this weird, like, head dodge thing where they moved his head over in a way that your neck just cannot contort. So, yeah, I just thought I'd point that out. I thought it was fun. A little fun fact for you. Sebulba being an even bigger piece of shit, just throwing shit in people's engine. Like, he's lucky no one's doing that to him. Just missed Anakin's head by the skin of his fucking dick. I wonder if Jedi get circumcised. Kind of a weird question out of the blue, but if, like, being a Jedi is being a part of a religion, does that mean they have that in their stuff? I suppose? Like, is what I'm wondering? That's kind of weird, I know. Sorry, guys. Punch it! definitely think Anakin has the cooler fucking pod racer out of anyone that's left in the race right now. I like his blue and silver design. I like how it kind of looks like a car. You would not a car, but it kind of looks like a bumper car. You would see it like a carnival with the way the base of it's designed where he sits. I think that's pretty cool. And his engine jets remind me of engine jets you would see on like fucking fighter planes too. So I think that's pretty badass. Yep, and he's coming up on your ass, Sebulba. Gonna go from Sebulba to Bulbasaur real quick. George Lucas directed Jake Lloyd pretty well in these scenes too. Like they make him look believable, like he's actually doing this. And I like that a little hint that they kind of throw in that the reason why Anakin's able to do this kind of a dangerous sport, as they point out earlier in the film, is because he has midichlorians in him, and he has the Force capabilities within him, and that helps him being able to see into the future, which is what gives him the foresight to do all these fast maneuvers, which most humans can't do. Which, if I'm not mistaken, Anakin is the only human in this race right now. Coming up on your ass. Oh, we got past that part. Nope, that's about to come off. Yep. I love the music. Music's bombastic. It gets you in the mood. It lets you know, hey, we're kind of in some shit right now, but we need to get going. I forget how he actually gets the... Okay, he throws that down. Okay, puts the fire out with some sort of extinguishment on the engine. And then he plops over a key into the other side. I think he's trying to divert power so that he has an even amount of power in his thrusters. Okay, no, he's trying to restart it because it's not on. There you go. Now you got power back. Okay. That scene actually makes sense when you fucking watch it fully, or when you watch it in full as an adult. Like, there's actually a lot of detail put into him getting it started and putting the fire out. I like that. Yeah, here he comes. Gonna punch right through your fucking dick hole. I love these wide shots of like the open desert. You can see like how hot the sun is across the desert with the heat mirage. Hopefully you guys enjoy the still frames from this race, because I found some really cool ones that I threw in for the video for you guys to look at if you're not watching the movie. And, yep, Swolba's about to lose it. Here he goes. Wow. Bam! How that doesn't actually kill him is beyond me. It would have been funny if you pulled a Bobby from Supernatural and just went, balls! Yeah, little Guido, get it! Woohoo! Oh yeah, look, fucking Mr. Warwick over there. Forget his first name. Something Warwick. Oh, I want to say Daniel Warwick. I'm pretty sure that's not it. Ahmed Best, he plays Jar Jar. And for why I didn't say this, Ray Park is Darth Maul, Samuel L. Jackson is Mace Windu, Brian Blessed is Boss Nass, and Kenny Baker is R2-D2. I already told you guys Anthony Daniels was C-3PO. But I am trying to find the name of the actor I just brought up.
You swindled me. You knew the boy wasn't going to do it. Somehow you knew it. I lost everything.
Whenever you gamble, my friend, eventually you win.
Okay, no, his first name is Warwick, his last name is Davis. Okay, yeah. But Warwick Davis plays the pod race spectator. He's been in almost all the Star Wars movies playing some type of character. He was in the original trilogy in Revenge of... Was it Revenge of the Jedi? Yeah, it was Revenge of the Jedi he was in. Where he played Ewok. He did that when he was a child, too. So,
With all the essential parts, I'm going back.
for anyone wondering what Warwick Davis might look like, you can see him in this movie. He plays one of the pod racer spectators, and you can also see him in all the Harry Potter movies. He is usually playing the goblins or the small sorcerer teachers, because I've had a few different ones in those that he's played. So,
Hey, using yours.
Yes! Mom, we sold the pie. Look at all the money we have.
My goodness, it's so wonderful, Annie.
Has been freed.
What?
No longer a slave.
Did you hear that?
Now you can make your dreams come true.
I feel like this part of the movie should have had a little bit more gravitas to it, where he reveals to him that he's not a slave anymore.
Since you become a Jedi,
Yes. Or maybe it's not a coincidence. Nothing happens by accident.
You mean I get to come with you in your starship?
Anything. Learning to become a Jedi is not an easy challenge. And even if you succeed, it's a hard life.
But I want to go. It's what I've always dreamed of doing. Can I go, Mom?
I don't think.
You know, as good of a job as Jake Lloyd does in these movies, I kind of would have been interested in seeing who the kid actor at the time who was almost going to play him would have done, because he did a pretty good job with the scenes that I seen him in his test footage for, where he first meets Padme. I think he would have brought something different to the character of Anakin that would have probably aligned more with what we got with Hayden Christensen. Because ultimately, I think Hayden Christensen is the ultimate Anakin Skywalker. I think he is Darth Vader alongside of David Prowse and James Earl Jones, who did the body and the voice of Darth Vader in the original trilogy. I don't really consider the actor who they got back in the day to play when he was unmasked for the first time to be Darth Vader, because he didn't really earn that right. That should have been David Prowse under the mask, not him. Not even going to acknowledge the actor's name, because that's how much it upsets me. But, yeah, I think maybe if they would have went with the other actor, it would have aligned up a little bit more with Hayden Christensen's portrayal of Anakin. But that still doesn't take away me enjoying Jake Lloyd's portrayal of Anakin any less. I still think he does a wonderful job portraying him.
Watch out.
So, I'd have to imagine that it's really hard for, let's say, parents to say goodbye to their child that are being taken from them by the Jedi at a young age, maybe at like, what is it, 2 or 3 at the latest, that they'll probably take them, compared to what they do with Anakin and then the retarded Osha and May that we later, see in the stupid Acolyte show. But I know that's got to be hard for parents then, but I have to imagine it's probably even more tough for a parent that's had as much time as Shmi has had with Anakin. And it shows in this goodbye right here. I love the music too. I don't have kids myself, but if I ever had to say goodbye to one like this, I imagine it's like saying goodbye. So you're sending your kid off to war. You don't know if you're ever going to see him again. Like, that's got to be so disheartening.
I am smoking.
Sometimes it's hard to tell you.
I hope so. Yes. I guess.
Oh, come on. That's got to get you fucking... That's got to hit you in the feels. What does your heart say if you'll ever see me again? I hope so.
I can feel it now. I promise.
John Williams' music is just so beautiful in this fucking movie. He does such a wonderful job.
Pray. Don't think that.
That's part of Anakin's problem as he gets older, is he cannot let go of his past. He has such a hard time doing that. That's part of the reason why he falls to the dark side. That his lust for power to save Padme when he finds out she dies. Or is going to die. But doesn't realize it'll be by his own hand. Anyone else think Ray Park looks a lot better as Darth Maul in this than he does now that he's fucking older? Because, like, he still looks cool as Darth Maul, even though he's older now. But, like, he looks so much different now than what he did back then. I always thought this little battle between Darth Maul and Qui-Gon was so cool. It still is. It still holds up. All the Jedi fights in these prequel movies hold up. The prequel Jedi fights are still the best Jedi fights that have ever come out of any Star Wars media. That includes Clone Wars and Rebels. Like, no one can beat the fights in these fucking movies. They're just wicked fucking fast, wicked fucking cool, and are badass to the bone. Especially when you get to Revenge of the Sith. That last duel with Anakin and Obi-Wan is fucking awesome.
We should be patient. Anakin Skywalker. And Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Hi. You're a Jedi.
And the Master meets his Padawan.
This invasion will gain you nothing. We're a democracy. The people have decided.
He's like, he's not listening to me. I want nothing to do with this mumble jumbo.
They will not stay hidden for long.
Yeah. Not for nothing, but can fucking robots in the future in Star Wars survive underwater? Are they waterproof? I don't know if that's something that's ever been answered.
Death toll is catastrophic. We must stop revolution. You must contact me.
Fucking Jar Jar's feet look fucking disgusting. Someone with feet like that, able to jump fucking 10 feet in the air. Like, not from the Force, that's for damn sure.
He's so sad.
It'd be cool if we could get some clothing in Star Wars like it used to be in the fucking original trilogy and the prequels. Because, like, it all felt unique, especially to the culture of certain planets. They all felt brand new and alien in some kind of way. The designs were just really, really, really out of this world. Pun intended. Sorry, guys, didn't mean for that to be so loud. But yeah, like I was saying, Anakin, his past is the one thing he can't let go. It's the one thing he could not look back on. There's many things Anakin is, but not being able to let go of things is not one of them. I'm surprised a ship like that doesn't have any scratches on it after flying through space. You know, like maybe hit an asteroid belt or something, or nicked, maybe a small piece of the planet, in some form or fashion, or got shot with lasers, so it's got like engraving marks into it from lasers.
I'm anxious to hear your report on this situation. May I present Supreme Chancellor of the Board?
Hey,
Welcome.
totally forgot Zod was in this.
Thank you.
For any fans of Superman,
I must relate to you how distressed everyone is.
the actor playing the Supreme Chancellor in this is the same actor who plays General Zod from the original Superman movies, 1 and 2, the Donner cuts.
There is a question of procedure, but I'm confident we can.
Terrence Stamp is his name, and his character's name in this is Phineas Valorum, which I'm assuming he's the current Chancellor right now until they give it up to Palpatine.
Anna, come on.
Sorry, guys. I normally my other podcast to tell you where that we are time code wise. Right now, we are at 55 minutes and 11 seconds. Or 55 minutes and 3 seconds is how much of the movie we have left. Sorry about that. I don't mean to mislead anyone. The time code bars are different when you're watching it on a computer versus a television. So that actually gives you where you're at time-wise in the movie and then how long you have left of the movie as well. This does not for some reason. I can't get over how bad Jar Jar goes from looking good to not good in this movie so far. It's really like kind of perplexing.
Really wobbling again.
Yeah, and now we're at the scene where the Chancellor, or not Chancellor, where Palpatine pretty much tricks the Queen into helping give him control of the Chancellorship over the Republic.
Our best choice would be for the election of a strong Supreme Chancellor, one who will control the bureaucrats and give us justice. Call for a vote of no confidence.
Here we go. Vote of no
Who's
confidence.
been our strongest supporter?
Our only other choice would be to submit a plea to the courts.
The courts take even longer to decide things than the Senate. Our people are dying, Senator. We must do something quickly to stop the predators.
To be realistic, Your Majesty, I think we're going to have to accept Federation control for the time being.
That's something I cannot do.
Keira Knightley does a good job as playing Queen Padme Amidala.
When the Jedi are, my only conclusion can be that it was Sith law.
Here we go. We're with the Jedi Council for the first time.
For a millennia.
It's so this isn't the original cut. This is after they threw in more CGI. Because this isn't how Yoda's supposed to look in the original cut of the movies. And the original cut of the movie is supposed to be a puppet, like I told you guys in the beginning of the podcast. We get Samuel L. Jackson as Mace Windu, the first Jedi that we ever saw with a purple lightsaber.
I've encountered avertants. A virgins, you say?
Located around a person?
A boy. The cells have the highest concentration of midichlorians I have seen in my lifetime. It's possible he was conceived.
You refer to the prophecy of the one who will bring balance to the force. You believe it's this boy?
I don't presume.
But you do. Reveal what your opinion is.
I request the boy be tested, Master.
Oh. Trained as a Jedi, you request for him.
Finding him was the will of the Force. I have no doubt of that.
You guys can instantly see the difference from how Qui-Gon approaches this to how Master Soul approaches this and the other Jedi that were involved with it. I think the fact that we had so many other Jedi a part of the Virgin's discovery in the fucking Acolyte was a big problem, because then you have too many voices to adhere to what they might think this is. Secondly, they didn't go about it in a very Jedi-like manner, but that's also because Leslie Headland's a terrible writer and doesn't like the Jedi or fucking Star Wars fans, and she wanted to shit all over them. You know, took a big old dookie on Star Wars fans the way she did their fucking show in the Jedi. But Qui-Gon makes the Virgins more about the will of the Force, not, hey, the Force made it known to us that this happened, or hey, we are aware of this and we found this. He was saying, no, the Force did this and the Force made me aware of it. I wasn't made aware of it from the Force. It's, I know that kind of sounds fucked up in the way I make it sound, but or the way I said it, but hopefully that technically makes sense. Yep, and this is where we get the no vote of confidence in the Chancellor. I think there's a E.T. Easter egg reference in this seat as well. I forget exactly where. Doesn't the yellow camera bots in this, though, don't they remind you of the yellow robot from Flubber that always had the, I think they had the Flubber creatures inside of it as well, but they also followed around Robin Williams' character in that movie as well.
Who speaks on our behalf?
Love the clothing they have for Queen Amidala in this movie. It really does have like a real royalty feel to it, and this futuristic-esque vibe as well. I can't deny that.
We recommend a commission be sent to Naboo to ascertain the truth.
The Congress of Malastare concurs with the honorable delegate from the Trade Federation. A commission must be appointed.
The true rulers of the Republic, and on the payroll of the Trade Federation. This is where Chancellor Royal's strength and discipline.
The point is conceded.
Does a good job at
Will you
tricking
defer
her.
your motion to allow a commission to explore the validity of
deceive
your
her.
accusations?
I will not defer. I've come before you to resolve this attack on our sovereignty now. I was not elected to watch my people suffer and die while you discuss this invasion in a committee. This body is not capable of action. I suggest new leadership is needed. I move for a vote of no confidence in Chancellor Valorum's leadership.
I love how shook this makes him. Like, God damn, I didn't see that coming. But I also have to say, I understand where both sides are coming from the Queen's perspective and his. Like, he's doing his job. He's trying to help you out as best as he can to his ability. And there's obvious fucking hoops he's got to jump through. And I'm sure on Naboo, you have fucking same hoops that you have to jump through as well sometimes to ascertain certain laws, certain people, certain things that need to go out to people. But I understand where she's coming from. She's watching her people die. They are hungry. They're being put into prisons. Like, she wants help now, not in 3 years when the problem's going to be worse. So I think most people can relate to that right now with the fucking current wars going on in Russia and Israel. So do with that what you will.
Speeder,
And then we get Anakin being tested by the Jedi Council.
How feel you?
I like how Yoda instantly already knows that he can feel the not distrust, but he can feel how far away Anakin feels from his mom and how that's hurting him and what he's thinking.
I miss her.
Afraid to lose her, I think.
What does that got to do with anything?
Everything. Fear is the path to the dark side. Fear leads to anger. Anger leads to hate. Hate leads to suffering. I sense much fear in you.
Yeah, see, that was always one thing I always kind of disagree with what the Jedi say. Fear leads to hate. Hate leads to the dark side, and I never always fully agreed with that, which is why I'm interested in seeing a fresh galaxy with new Jedi that don't believe in that as a rule. I would like to see some Jedi that embrace emotion and passion and use that to their advantage, because yes, while hate and fear might be a bad thing for most people, fear also lets you know you're alive still, and it also lets you know you still care at a certain point as well. And I feel like Jedi at least have to care to be able to be peacekeepers of a galaxy. Like you can't be hateful, but you have to care at the same time. Like you can't have not one without the other. So, like there's a fine line you have to walk, and I would like to see that be more explored in Star Wars with the Jedi more than anything else. Like I feel like we've gotten a lot of the what's the word I'm looking for? Bounty hunter type of story. We've had the smuggler story. We've had the oppressed war story. Let me see a good story based off the Jedi warriors now that has nothing to do with a war at all. Let me see how they operate in an actual time of peace, maybe where they're trying to train Padawans to become Jedi and Jedi Knights and Masters to their own right, or maybe we have some sort of different like breakout type of plot that ensues, an antagonist against our protagonists, which are the Jedi. I feel like Star Wars needs to be able to evolve in some way, because I feel like if we just keep relying on there always having to be a war for Star Wars to exist, that's going to be getting very old and played out very quickly, in my opinion.
Train them?
Yeah, and now we're about to get told by the Council that Anakin cannot be trained.
He will not be trained. No. He's too old.
He is the chosen. You must see it.
Clouded this boy's future is.
I will train him now.
I will say, makes me laugh how
I take Anakin as my
Mace
fellow
Windu sits back slowly in his seat, just tell Qui-Gon, no, we will not train him.
Impossible to take on second.
The code forbids it.
Obi-Wan is ready.
I am ready to face the trials.
Our own council will keep on who is ready.
He is headstrong. He has much to learn of the living force, but he is capable. There's little more he can learn from me.
Young Skywalker's fate will be decided later.
Now is not the time for this. The Senate is voting for a new Supreme Chancellor, and Queen Amidala is returning home, which will put pressure on the Federation and could widen the confrontation.
And draw out the Queen's attacker.
Go with the Queen to Naboo and discover the identity of this dark lord. This is the clue we need to unravel the mystery of the Sith.
May the Force be with you.
Yeah, the rule where Jedi aren't allowed to train kids that are too old never really quite made sense to me. maybe someone can fucking have a debate with me on that on the channel sometime as to why it makes sense for them to take in the kids at such a young age and why they cannot be at a certain point too old to join the Jedi. That part just doesn't make sense to me. Like, I'm sure maybe there is some of it that does, but I can't think of it myself. So I would love for someone to explain to me why it makes sense that it's some kids are too old to become Jedi, or why the Jedi won't accept kids that are too old to a certain extent. So that's just something my mind's been curious about.
I heard Yoda talking about midichlorians. I for wonder, what are midichlorians?
But for anyone wondering why I was so curious earlier on in the podcast, and why I wanted to see a what if Qui-Gon Jinn trained Anakin Skywalker, most people believe that's because if he did train Anakin, that Anakin wouldn't have gone to the dark side, and he would have balanced the Force without becoming Darth Vader. So that would have been interesting to see, and I still think it is. So
They continually speak to us.
I was trying to see who plays Ki-Adi-Mundi in
You learn to quiet your mind.
this movie.
Okay, I'm speaking to you.
We had the whole Ki-Adi-Mundi controversy in The Acolyte, which it wasn't a controversy for his age, it was a controversy for what he knew. It was the knowledge his character held, which makes no sense in these prequels, with what they try to establish in those.
I assure you I will not allow that to happen.
Come on, Art.
I don't see who plays Ki-Adi-Mundi in the cast list, unfortunately. Or at least on Google. And I'm looking hard, guys, trust me. No Ki-Adi-Mundi. There's Frank Oz, though, as Yoda. Knew that. Yeah, they don't have Ki-Adi-Mundi listed, the actor listed on here for some reason.
And lost control of it.
Catch on pretty quick.
It's because he's a good pilot.
Federation will arrest you, force you to sign the treaty.
Or cool clothing for the Queen.
I will take back what's ours.
There are too few of us, Your Highness. We have no army, and I can only protect you. I can't fight a war.
Jar Jar Binks.
Pizza, Your Highness?
Yes. I need your help.
So if anyone was actually looking at that scene, if you look at the two guards behind the Queen, her handmaidens, one of them is played by Natalie Portman. She's the real Padme Amidala in this. But if you look at her versus the other Queen's handmaiden, she wasn't looking at her the entire conversation as to where Natalie Portman's character was. So that's kind of another giveaway to, hey, she's subtly paying attention to what she's talking about because she needs to make sure she's saying the right things to you guys. So I thought that was a little thing that I just noticed that was fun to point out.
I'm sorry for my behavior, Master. It's not my place to disagree with you about the boy. And I am grateful you think I'm ready to take the trials.
I like this scene between them.
You're a much wiser man than I am.
Right.
I foresee you will become a great Jedi Knight.
I always loved how Qui-Gon already knew Obi-Wan was ready to take the trials. He already knows he's a great Jedi and will be a great Jedi Knight. And I feel like to some extent he knows he'll be a great Master one day as well.
The Gungan City is deserted. Some kind of fighting against.
Do you think they've been taken to the camps?
More likely they were wiped out. We said no think so.
You know where they are, Jar Jar.
When you travel, Gungans go to sacred place. Mr. Shedder, come in, Mr. Shedder.
Yeah, he's a show you. Got sacred places all over this goddamn planet. Although I am curious to know how the fucking The bad guys of this movie fucking got underwater with their robots because I'm pretty sure they don't have actual, like, clones or alien type fucking troopers yet at this point. It should just be all the robots.
I'm Queen Amidala of the Navi.
Yes, you are.
All come back.
We have searched you out because we
God.
wish to form an alliance. Your Honor,
Who's doing this?
I am Queen Amidala.
Yup.
my
I like the
deacon.
reveal.
My protection. My loyal bodyguard. I'm sorry for my deception, but it was necessary to protect myself. Although we do not always agree, Your Honor, our two great societies have always lived in peace. The Trade Federation has destroyed all that we've worked so hard to build. If we do not act quickly, all will be lost forever. I ask you to help us. No, I beg you to help us. It's in your hands.
Even Jar Jar bows, even though that's his people. He's gonna do that.
You shall not even who's greater than the Gungans? We shall like it. Maybe we shall be friends.
Yep, there he goes. That's a seal of approval. Yippee! Fucking Christ. Jar Jar cracks me the fuck up.
The starship in the swamp. It won't be long, I know.
I'm still aggressive. Oh, more. Be mindful. Let them make the first move.
Yes, I must.
For anyone wondering, yes. Oh my god, the CGI looked terrible. But for anyone wondering, yes, Ray Park does play Darth Maul in this movie, but he doesn't do the voice, unfortunately. The voice of Darth Maul in this movie is done by Peter Serafinowicz. However the fuck you say that. Serafinowicz, I think is how you pronounce that. But yeah, he does the voice of Darth Maul in this. He was kind of promised the same thing that would happen to him that happened to James Earl Jones with Darth Vader. But I don't know if they fucking told him that his character was going to die in this movie. And then he was brought back later on. He didn't even voice the character later on. It was done by Sam Witter, who, if no one knows who that is, he's known for playing Doomsday in Smallville. And he's also known for a show called Being Human, where he plays a vampire in that, an immortal vampire.
Once we get to the main after the happen with made a diversion.
I always love the holograph technology in these movies. They still look good. They look a lot better compared to the fucking alien creatures that we see sometimes. Mostly Jar Jar and his fucking clan.
We have a plan. It should immobilize the droid army. We will send what pilots we have to knock out the droid control ship orbiting the planet.
I like how as soon as Natalie Portman's character has to come out that she's the queen, she immediately just has this different sort of like presence to her. Like she doesn't come off as this catty, sassy woman that's always, backsassing the Jedi. She immediately turns into this force of a nature, this leader. She's already telling people what to do. She's doing it with confidence. She knows what she's doing as a leader is going to not only work, but hopefully benefit everyone that's behind her as well. So I love that little flick of the switch she made with her character. She did a good job in that. So And for anyone wondering, Ian McDermott, who plays Palpatine in these Star Wars movies, he did play Palpatine in the Star Wars Empire Strikes Back and Star Wars Return of the Jedi. But there was a different actor to play Palpatine originally in A New Hope. Now, they since went back and they put Ian McDermott as Palpatine in A New Hope, but it was originally a different actor with a lot worse makeup. Looked like he had like alien-eaten eyes that were eating their own eyes. It was really fucking weird looking.
Locking up the shield.
See, the CGI for the aliens, for Jar Jar and his people, look a lot better in this scene than they have the rest of the movie. But if there's one thing sorry guys. If there's one thing that Jar Jar and his species are missing for their group of aliens, it's freaking texture. They need some sort of texture for them. Like, I don't know, maybe that is what will help make them look less fucking fake and CGI. But yeah, I think that's what will do it for me, at least. Is they need more texture. They all look really flat. It doesn't look like they have any sort of, I guess, 3D bumpy aspect to it, for lack of a retarded term. So, bam, bitch. Let the war begin. Love seeing a lightsaber every time it gets pulled out. And this was back in the day when lightsabers actually used to cut through stuff like butter and didn't just bounce off everything. Oh, the ships in this scene, the iconic yellow and silver fighter ships. I love these. They're so fucking cool looking. I think the pilot uniforms could have been done a little bit better, but I still think the ships are awesome. R2-D2's like, come on, Anakin. We're going too. I like how the Queen's bodyguard's still dressed in full Queen regalia, but she's fucking getting in on the action now, too. She's like, get some bitches! Oh, there goes one of the fighter jets down. Bam! Beeps. I swear, they spent more time with this. Oh, sorry. I swear they spent more time in the, hangar there than they do in any other set throughout the rest of this movie. At least, well, maybe not Tatooine, but yeah, for the most part, the hangar where they take the yellow rebel jets. That's what I'll just call them for right now because I don't know the names of the jets off the top of my head. Those are with the hangar that they're in. We do spend most of the last third act in there, so I don't know if that's more time than what we spend on Tatooine in the second half of the movie, or if it's less. So if anyone knows, let me down in the comments below. I always thought the workings of how these droids came out was fucking really cool. They actually make it look like that's something that could work in real life if you ever saw something like that. The way it drops them out and then proceeds to let more out of the ship. So the CGI for the droids though looks pretty good. I can't complain about that. I know they had actual physical props though for them as well, so that probably plays into a great deal as to why they look so good compared to Jar Jar Binks and his clan of people. Yep, they could go right through the bubble. Those little shock balls. Now they got the big ones going. Ooh. I do think it's cool though that George Lucas gave us a third act in this Episode 1 movie where we're not just getting a Jedi fight, we're also getting a ground fight with military type groups. We're also getting a air fight in space. So we're getting air, land, and we're getting the awesome Jedi warrior type battle. 3 different types of battling. I think that's always fucking cool. Now, if they were able to accomplish that in the later Disney Star Wars, that would have been cool. But instead, they keep cutting back to shit no one has any interest in. But everyone has interest in the on-the-ground troops fighting with the droids. Everyone's got interest in Obi-Wan Kenobi and Darth Maul fighting. Everyone's got interest in the space battle up top as well. Right, here we go, the rolling droids are back. And again, the music is fucking great. It sets the tone for what type of action we're about to get. Just fucking heart palpitating, on this edge of your seat, fucking action. Here we go, Duel of the Fates music. I love it. I love hearing the sounds of lightsabers hitting each other. Fucking, you know you're gonna be in a good fight anytime you hear lightsabers hitting each other. I don't know if that's what you meant to hit, Anakin. Nope, there goes the door. Keep calling him a good pilot throughout this whole movie. He didn't know how to get the ship started, though, and he didn't exactly know what he was doing until it started fucking moving.
It's on automatic pilot.
There you go.
Try to override it.
First time we ever got to see a double-bladed lightsaber, too. And if you were in theaters when this came out, you were instantly like, ah! As soon as you see the double blade ignite. And for anyone that didn't see anything behind the scenes for this fight, they're actually going a lot faster than what it looks like. They actually had to slow down the footage so you could see them fighting, because when they were originally fighting, they went so fast you could barely see some of the moves, which makes me fucking even more fucking proud of the prequel series compared to how much shit people talk about it. Now we're back to the on-the-ground fight for the palace. Now we got 4 different kinds of fights. The in-the-field, on-the-ground fight with the droids, the taking back the palace fight against the droids, the fight with the Jedi against Darth Maul that's in the hangar going into whatever the energy core room is that they're in, and then we have the space battle up top with the spaceships, trying to take out the headquarters where the droids are being controlled from. So we went from having 3 great battles to 4 great battles that all have story prominence and a concisive detail to where they're going to lead us in the conclusion. So that's another reason why I like the ending of this movie. I fully admit this movie does not have some good things in it. Like, some of the CGI doesn't look as good. Some of the pacing is slow, and I probably would have went with maybe some different acting choices. But other than that, I still enjoy the movie. I've told you why I've enjoyed it throughout this whole podcast so far. Yeah, it is. You know what's funny, though, is the helmet on Jake Lloyd in this looks 10 times better than the helmet we got to see in the fucking Acolyte on May's character when she leaves Soul's ship. And I think it's the last episode. Oh god, did that look terrible. It looked like it looked like an adult putting on an infant helmet. It was bad. Yeah, so far the space battles hold up really fucking well still. And we're back to the palace fight. Yeah, then they're about to do the really cool fucking thing like Batman does and rappel from the window. I kind of like the way their military officers' suits look for the palace. But I still think they could have went with something a little bit different and more unique for the pilots, because you can see the similarities from these to the pilot suits, but I feel like they could have went with something a little bit more, I don't know, more airman-like, because that felt like they were wearing Harry Potter uniforms, I'm not going to lie. I'll get the music so you guys can hear a little bit of it. Fucking love this fight. Oh yeah. Oh, how does his shoulder not dislocate from that? Down we go. Now this I can see why he wouldn't like shatter his kneecaps. He's using the force to, you know, cushion his landing. But fucking Ewan McGregor's Obi-Wan Kenobi just straight up takes the full landing into his shoulder. So how he doesn't dislocate that or, you know, fucking crush his arm is beyond me. So. And for anyone that was wondering, when Ewan McGregor actually gets to lift himself up off the platform with his hands, they went through like 3 different methods to make that look like he did it with the force and not like he was jumping off of something. Because originally the first thing they did was they put him on a trampoline and he jumped off that onto the platform, but you could tell he was jumping off of something onto the platform instead of like stepping on something onto the platform. So that what they wound up doing at the end to get the final shot was they took a 2x4. They had like 3 or 4 guys underneath Ewan McGregor with him standing on that 2x4, and they literally just launched him up so he could just literally just land. He didn't have to push himself at all. It was just he had to just stick the landing, and that was it. It looks like the shield's down for the field battle, so now Jar Jar and his people are kind of, you know, fleeing a little bit. No, they're 100% fleeing. This is nuts. Oh, there goes your cover, Jar Jar. Ah! And he accidentally helps everyone by fucking letting those go. The electric ball orbs, whatever you want to call them. It makes me laugh, though, they made him sound like rubber dodgeballs as they were bouncing out, even though they look nothing like fucking rubber. They actually look like they would sound like glass. Ah! He straight lands on his nuts on there. Is that why he goes, ah? Accidentally fucking gets it in there. Jar Jar accidentally helps you guys win the battle. That's how it usually goes with his ass. I think Jar Jar got a little bit more screen time and dialogue in the Clone Wars series, but other than the little bit of dialogue he gets in Episode 2 and the Clone Wars series, I think that's about it after this movie. Sound effects for the space battle sound so fucking good too. How he doesn't manage to crash into anything is beyond me. Like, I know he's got like that force capability to see and kind of predict like a few minutes ahead of time with him and what he's doing, but come on, it didn't totally look like he would have crashed into either the ship or those closing bay doors that literally looked like they were maybe 12, maybe a foot apart from closing, or maybe a little bit more than that. Now we're back to the, I like the inside the cockpit shots when they're trying to show him turn everything back on. I always find that to be creative. And now we're back to the fight with Darth Maul and Qui-Gon Jinn. Now, Obi-Wan Kenobi's going to try and get to them, but he'll get stopped by these Red Force shields before he is able to get to them. Here we go. This is where we lose Qui-Gon in a second here. Yep, right here. And that's the end of an era. But yet somehow Sabine survives getting stabbed in the fucking gut with a lightsaber. But yet, Qui-Gon dies. Still don't understand that, but it is what it is at this point, right? Please think of something. I give up. It's over. Fucking love it.
Your little insurrection is at an end, Your Highness. Time for you to sign the treaty and end this pointless debate.
You sure about that?
Viceroy, your occupation here had ended.
Aha! This one's a decoy.
No, she was the real one. You guys just got tricked.
Captain,
So how come the droids didn't try shooting her when she sat in the chair to grab the guns? Anyone got a response from me on that one? That just seems like bad writing.
now, Viceroy, we'll discuss a new treaty.
Alright, now we're back to the fight with Obi-Wan and Darth. Look at Darth Maul just trolling Obi-Wan. Like, yeah, you see what I did to your master? I'm gonna do the same thing to you. I fucking love this fight. So badass. I love when Ewan McGregor just catches his fucking lightsaber from behind. Reminds me of something Anakin would do when he gets older. There we go. Fucking cuts your lightsaber in half so you're just down to the one side. And then, yep. I remember this scene so well from when I was younger. More Darth Maul trolling him. So for anyone that didn't know, Ewan McGregor's lightsaber as Obi-Wan Kenobi in this movie is 100% different from his lightsaber that Obi-Wan Kenobi has as an older man. He actually gets that lightsaber after this movie because he has to build himself a new one because he loses his lightsaber down that shaft. And the reason he has a different one in this was for that, so they let Ewan McGregor have the capability of choosing his own lightsaber. So did all the other actors on set. Liam Neeson got to pick his for Qui-Gon Jinn, and I'm pretty sure Ray Park got to pick his for Darth Maul as well. So, yeah, here we go. Anakin got the ship to blow from the inside.
This is hot.
Yep.
Look, one of ours. How does the main hole?
Woo! Look at him go! Yeah! I like how they're all celebrating together. Like that. Like, that's what some actual fucking pilots would do on their way out of battle. Like, yeah, we did the fucking job, guys, and we lived. Let's go back home. Like, celebrate.
The control ship has been destroyed.
Yep, it is. So now the space and both ground battles have been won. Now it's just up to Obi-Wan to finish his battle with Darth Maul and get to his master in time. But we all know, if you've already seen the movie, Qui-Gon Jinn doesn't make it, unfortunately. And then right in half, baby. Even though fucking Darth Maul lives. So, can someone explain to me why Darth Maul was able to live after getting cut in half, but Qui-Gon Jinn still fucking dies after getting stabbed in the stomach? Like, the same thing Sabine survives from? Like, it just doesn't make sense. Oh, the headaches I get from this shit. I swear to Christ. As much as I love this movie, like, a lot of the plot holes in this do give me fucking headaches. He wants him to promise him he'll train the boy for him.
Is the chosen one.
And I like that Qui-Gon's last dying words was for him to train the boy because he truly believes in him that much. Which I'm sure if you're Obi-Wan as his Padawan, like that's very powerful to you. Some big ass shit. But we've seen bigger in Star Wars.
Now, Viceroy, you're going to have to go back to the Senate and explain all this.
I think this is trade franchise goodbye.
And this begins the relationship of Anakin and Obi-Wan. It would have been cool if we would have gotten to see Obi-Wan tell Anakin about Qui-Gon's death.
To you for your bravery.
I think that would have been something worth seeing in the movie. Instead of most of the political stuff we wound up getting. Oh yeah, look at the guards Palpatine has with him. Anyone notice they look strikingly similar to the guards in the sequel series, where they had that similar like helmet, but without the visor for them to see through? The Royal Guards is what I think they were for Palpatine.
The level of Jedi Knight Council does. But agree with your taking this boy as your Padawan learner. I do not.
I don't believe in him.
The chosen one, the boy may be. Nevertheless, grave danger I fear in his training.
Master, I gave Qui-Gon my word. I will train Anakin. Without the approval of the Council if I must.
Qui-Gon's defiance, I sense him.
No shit.
That do not. Agree with you, the Council does. Your apprentice, Skywalker, will be.
I also feel like that should have been a way bigger scene than it was, and we should have probably had the full Jedi Council for that, not just Yoda. Getting to see the burning of a Jedi's body. I wonder if George Lucas took that from Viking culture,
What will happen?
Norse mythology.
The Council granted me permission to train. I promise.
Music here for the funeral is fucking beautiful too. I cannot say one bad thing about John Williams' music in these movies. Anything John Williams does is just a masterpiece. You guys ever hear Ghostbusters? You ever hear Superman, Indiana Jones? Almost every fucking E.T., almost every popular movie that everyone fucking loves, John Williams did the music for. I like Mace Windu's little there at the end. But which one did we kill? The master or the apprentice? Oh, it was mostly the apprentice. Don't worry about that. It wasn't a master. One second, guys.
Or 340.
I always dug this parade music here at the end. Little chant. Ah. See, I don't know why it's so hard for Disney to give us at least something like the prequels. Like, this seems like it's something in their wheelhouse they can do, but they keep fucking missing the step each time. And then we have this magical orb. I think that's supposed to be like a peace treaty between them. You get to see Anakin as a little Padawan. Bam, the credits. Written and directed by George Lucas. The man, the myth, the legend. The one who started it all. I don't ever want to hear anyone fucking say a bad word about George Lucas. I'm just kidding. Go ahead. You guys can say whatever you want. I know he's not a perfect person. So, but that was it, guys. That was Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace. The first movie in the franchise of watching it chronologically. Next up on the show, we will be covering Episode 2, Star Wars, The Attack of the Clones. And I don't know if either Attack of the Clones or Revenge of the Sith is my favorite Star Wars movie. We will debate that once we get through those. But with that being said, I thoroughly and still enjoyed this movie. As much as you guys heard me pick it apart, I still had fun watching it. And that's the most you want to have with a movie. You want to be entertained. You want to have fun. You want to laugh. You want to question things. You want to get thrown a little. It's obviously a little hard to be thrown a little while you're watching stuff that you've already seen. But you still take it in the way you did when you originally saw it. And you still take in the surprise of it. So, but with that being said, let me know in the comments down below what you guys thought of the movie. Do you like it? Do you not like it? Were there some things you would change about it like I would? Were there some things you agreed with me on or disagreed on? Let me know down below. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and look out for the next episode of Cam Dynamics coming out soon. We'll also have a new episode of X-Men The Uncanny Evolution podcast coming out where we will be covering X-Men First Class. And with that being said, guys, have a wonderful day. Peace, love, and that's all, folks.
Get my shit straight, tried that, got shit faced. Wisecrack, leave a hip replacement. Handicap, leave you short on patience. Short with me, treat this like vacation. In a plastic baggie, I hold my psyche. Don't even try me, smoke it all, trail a ghost behind me. What's a front, always blinding. Anytime, anywhere, any place you could find me. It ain't like I'm getting far. Trapped between these four walls, down or soft in my fall. Down in the dump.